Peace forever and always. I am the host of this program, the mighty one, Angel Snub Nub 7. Okay, I just have a few questions. I just want to make a few points. Please correct me. Please guide me to the right path. I'm just curious. I just want to put something out here for us to think about. There's a segment of persons, group of persons, and they call themselves Pan-Africans. And the majority of them have never visited Africa in their whole life. But they would tell us how wonderful, how beautiful, how great, how glorious this continent is. They have an obsession with this continent because they have a story in their mind that at one time, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, their ancestors, they are the descendants of people hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that lived there at one time or the other. So we are, or they believe they are, prisoners of war. They are kidnapped people. And they tell us about something they have not done, which is to return to their homeland. This is their homeland. Africa is their homeland. And so they have this picture of Africa that is so wonderful that they were denied this greatness, this glory was stolen from them. And that's fine. Now, prior to my making this short commentary, I did a Google search and I did a little YouTube, just a quick search, just to see what's happening out in social media. And I wanted to see and hear the videos made by people actually born on the continent, bragging about Africa. I did not find those videos. Please send them to me, where the people on the continent are bragging about the continent, not about their country. I would expect you would brag and want to feel good about your nation or your tribe. I'm talking about Africa in general, because this is what Pan-Africans tell us. They are Pan-African or Pan-Continent. And they want to unify the 50 nations in the continent. Actually, that's the short, simple definition of Pan-African. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with taking a bottle and pouring the liquor on the ground, talk about, oh, I'm doing this for my ancestors. That's your own personal religious, moral belief. Pan-Africanism is simply the idea of these nations on the continent coming together as a unit, coming together like the United States of Africa, like we have here the United States of America. Has nothing to do with voodoo, has nothing to do with African spirituality, has nothing to do with all these personal, fabricated, has nothing to do with metaphysical, comedic. It has nothing to do. Pan-Africanism, or being a Pan-African, simply is the unification of those countries, those people together. That's all it is. And that's fine. And they should do that. That would be good for those nations on that continent. That would be a good thing. I'm looking for those videos where people actually born on the continent is talking and bringing the same narrative as the Pan-African. Now, you do have people born on the continent. They have been educated and they are familiar with the narrative of the Pan-African, but as a people on the continent, you do not hear, I have not heard, and nor do the Pan-Africans show us where the presidents and the prime ministers, the leadership of these nations or these tribes or families, they talking the same way that they talk. Those people aren't interested. You will not hear them speak. They have no knowledge of what is African spirituality. There are hundreds of different belief systems on the continent. What is African spirituality? Africa is a continent. What spirituality are you talking? You talking in general. Now, we do know that people born on the continent, many of them are actually leaving the continent. They are risking their lives trying to go to Europe. They are risking their lives trying to come to the United States. This is a fact. But if you listen to the Pan-African, this African American, this person who calls himself a Pan-African, they would tell you how great the continent is and how wonderful and glorious. And if that's true, why they never tell you, well, why are the people that's actually born there, why are they risking their lives trying to come to the United States of America? If it's so great there and wonderful, why aren't you? There's thousands of Pan-African people who love Africa. They're not going anywhere. So why aren't you going to Africa? Why are they leaving? And we know this as a fact. Don't have to do any research. We see the Pan-African, including the big shots like Dr. Umar Johnson and what's his name? Afro-Synergy, whatever you call his name. Jabari Husseini or whatever they call. These people are not going to live in Africa. This is a fact. We see this. But they are telling you and me and the masses of the people how glorious and how wonderful Africa is. But they're not going nowhere themselves. And people born, many of the people born on the continent are actually trying to come here to the United States and Europe and other places. Even China, Japan. But Africa is so great. Now we know this is the behavior and what's going on right now. We know this right now. So my question is, they would tell you also that Africans was already here in the United States. Africans was in many, many places before the white man, before the Chinese. The African went everywhere and started everything. If you listen to these Pan-African, these blackity black type people, this is what they say. So it raises the question again. If Africa is so wonderful and so great, why would these people migrate to Europe? Why would they migrate to North America? Why would they migrate to Asia? Why would the African, if you are living in a wonderful place, most people, if they're living in a wonderful place, plenty of water, plenty of food, nice weather, they're not hardly going to migrate. Why would they migrate? If Africa was so comfortable, if Africa is so wonderful, why, back in the day, why did they leave? I'm asking the Pan-African this. I just put it in the comment section. Why did they leave? The reason people leave the comfort zone, like you in your house, you are in your house, and you have been in this house for generations upon generations. Your great-grandmama had the house, and people passed the house from generation to generation. You're not going to hardly leave your house. But you will leave the house if it's too many termites, if there's a flood, if there's a fire, if somebody forced you to leave your house by gunpoint. You're not going to leave your comfort zone. You're not going to do that. So apparently, common sense tells me if the African somehow made it to Europe, somehow made it to Asia, somehow made it to all these different places, something, or Africa wasn't as wonderful and some kind of utopia like these Pan-Africans are trying to tell us. Because even now we know that Africa can suffer from famine and drought. People will migrate. People will leave their place if there's no food, if there's no water. They will leave because of drought. Natural drought or man-made drought or whatever, they will leave. You will leave if there's an earthquake or a volcano, a natural disaster, tornado wiped you out. You will leave that place. You will leave a place because of persecution, because somebody else that lived there is oppressing you and force you to leave. Just like in the Ukraine. They are at war. You have a lot of refugees and people are leaving Ukraine, coming to the United States, going to Poland, going to wherever because of war. So Africa, the continent, is subject and is not exempt to natural disaster, is not exempt to wars, drought, things of this nature, and the people left. But according to the narrative of the Pan-African, that's not the case. According to the narrative of the Pan-African, everything is wonderful. Africa is utopia. If it wasn't for the white man, if it wasn't for these invaders, Africa was just a beautiful, wonderful place. Now, mind you again, you have people who are actually on the continent willing to die to go to another place. I want to remind you that these Pan-Africans themselves, they are not leaving and going no damn where. They are right here in their comfort place, right here in the United States of America. I was just watching a nature program. And all the continents are beautiful and unique in and of themselves. Africa has beautiful animals and landscape. Europe also, as well as Asia. This is the earth. What is wrong with us embracing the earth? What is wrong with us breaking away from racism, tribalism, using our human brain, our intelligence to break these things so that we can understand ourselves as human beings, and instead of I'm a European, I'm an Asian, I'm an African, why not we concentrate on being an earthling? Why can't we concentrate on being a human being? And I can guarantee you that unification would be the best unification we could ever have. I could be wrong. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. Till next time, y'all.